What's up guys, User here. Spent a lot of time with Maximum since the 1.0 launch here on the PS5, and I've come up with just a small list of minor tweaks or maybe a few major changes that could greatly improve not only the game, the user experience, and the gameplay on both sides of the ball here. So here's a couple of my suggestions. Hopefully they make sense, and I would like to get this seen by the people in charge. That way, you know, they can really think the community is investing our time as well to make this game the best product that it can be. So let's just dive in. One of my favorite things about some older EA games was the ring system from Madden 2008, where the more you played the game in different areas, it would basically customize this championship ring that would show and basically reflect your playstyle, your achievements in game, online. And I think something like that would be really cool just as a player. Maybe even like a banner or some sort of pennant that you could kind of unlock with the season passes, different little pins or things that you can add to it to kind of keep the single player and the MPL experience expanded as well. This could also go with like a trophy room or something like 2K's The Crib, where you get a nice big wall reflecting your achievements and Dynasty, franchise, MPL, the single player. All those things kind of encompassed into one little achievement banner. Another overall gameplay tweak I'd like to see is something with the snow games. Currently you could play snow games, but there's no physical effect that comes down. There's no actual flurries in the air. As you can see here, this is a basic example of the snow, and here's a really cheesy example of an overlay with some snow on it. Gives you that blizzard effect. The field surface is already built for it. And I told them I know, cause when I'm in your town, every ticket I sold. Yeah, they saying I'm the man. Facts, bro. One major factor that needs to improve is the RPO that was just added. As you can see here, I already have 2 videos covering the RPO in this game and my suggestions on how to fix that, so I won't go too in depth with that. If you want to check that out, they are on my in my video playlist, so go ahead and check them out. Continued locomotion updates would really benefit the running backs specifically in this game. Here's a couple examples of me trying to get short and twitchy, make a one cut and get up into a hole, but as of right now, it's just not really possible to be agile and quick and hit holes with decisiveness. Now this is an older clip from a game called Backbreaker, and I want you to pay attention to how crispy and clean the cuts are for the agile ball carrier. I would love to be able to make moves like this between the tackles to kind of set up jukes or hit a hole. Now with the RPO officially being in Maximum Football, they need to add the defensive end surf technique. That way we can actually get a proper read off of when the RPO is being run. And I also think this would help the offense to basically identify and slow down that read process to get the ball out or decide what you need to do. As you can see here, the defensive end, he's not attacking either one. He's doing what's called a surf technique. So it's the best practice of basically playing the quarterback and then committing to the ball. Well, that end, they need to add the ability to tackle the play action off of those plays as well to help the surf technique, or just a straight up QB attack. I'm going mainstream. Now, I've been craving these since the launch of the game on 1.0 for PS5 as gang tackles. And I know on the latest dev blog they said that this has been pushed back because of the franchise mode being the big focus. But here's a couple examples of some gameplay clips, and I'll kind of compare what I'm seeing here. One of my all-time favorite examples is the Madden 08 gang tackling system, which essentially is like branching locomotion from one animation to another. And in these examples you can see there's already a tackle happening, and when a second player can kind of come in, it will impact. And I think this will help greatly with this power back situation that we're dealing with. Here in this next clip, you can see it's so close and how much cleaner it would look in some of these interior runs and some of this stuff with you're able to get a couple of players to converge on this. And I know the tech's there because we can already double team block, which means 3 players are capable of interacting with one another in this game engine. Of course, we'd all love a physics-based tackling engine, which just isn't possible at this point, but in this next clip you could see physics is in the game and it is represented. It's just not ready to put into a tackling gang, animation system. Another smaller change is for the DBs to help them run with some of these receivers on these downfield routes, and that's some hand jostling. Here's some tech from Madden 2010, and it's showing off some of the hand jostling animation to kind of help those DBs survive on the edge, so that there's some sort of interaction with them, with the receivers, to kind of slow down these easy fade balls and some of these easy go balls that are being completed downfield. Now, instead of nerfing the receivers catching, I think we need to give the DBs and the safeties some ammunition to fire back. And what I mean by that is the ability to play the ball in the air, collide, do something to jar the ball loose or to contest catch some of these players. It's too easy right now to throw the ball and not deal with any consequences. And I feel like adding a couple of these in-air collisions would greatly benefit the defense in a lot of ways. The next change I'd really love to see is a base shell adjustment pre-snap. Now, what do I mean by that? Here's an example of I have to pick a blitz play and basically then come into the coverage adjustments right away and left stick the baseline. Otherwise, it's going to totally give away that I'm blitzing. So I say, instead of that, why not default line up with both of my safeties at the top of the formation in my 4-3, my nickel, my things where I have 2 safeties on the field, and instead of having to go through and click them through to essentially, base align them, they should start base aligned, and if I want them to compress into this formation here, I can then go in and show blitz and have them all stack the line like this. One of my suggestions also, the D-pad up, which is a defensive adjustment, might be better served getting rid of like the shifting of the defense and the play guessing, because this is kind of broken at this point, and replace it with something more like this. Give us the options to show like a cover 2 or a cover 3 or some sort of like man look, just some better usage of that defensive overall audible button. Anyway, I'm curious to see what everybody else says. I know in Discord there's a lot of other suggestions that are coming along, but to me these are sort of a few bite-sized chunk changes that maybe could come in a future smaller update before this big franchise patch is pushed. Just some basic things to kind of help the immersion, the gameplay elements, and to just make certain elements of the gameplay more functional for the user. Us, we're playing the game, we want to have fun with it, and we want to experience it at a high level. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. I'm out.